At breaking news in the Central Valley, a shooting involving U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents is under investigation. Now, this is happening just off of Interstate 5 in Patterson. On and off ramps of I-5 are closed right now. Our NBC Bay Area Sky Ranger was overhead earlier as investigators were there on the scene. Now, the details at this point are limited, but we do know that a person was shot and taken to the hospital. No officers were injured. Stanislaus Sheriff's Office says it is assisting in that shooting investigation, but added that no local law enforcement officers were part of the shooting.
We are continuing to follow breaking news in Stanislaus County this morning. We now know that an investigation is underway after a shooting involving ICE agents.
Now, according to the Stanislaus County Sheriff's Office, the suspect was taken to a local hospital. You see right here on this map, this is happening along Sperry Avenue. This is in the Patterson area. Take a look at this picture that we received from a viewer. You see law enforcement vehicles and some crime scene tape. That was from earlier this morning. Live Copter 3 now overhead. So let's show you a live picture. Exclusive images right now. The Stanislaus County Sheriff's Office says it is assisting, but you see a number of vehicles right there. Those are probably going to be mostly law enforcement, but for the most part, you don't see much traffic at all. And that's because those areas have been closed off as this investigation continues. Now, deputies have confirmed that no local law enforcement has been involved with this. They're also saying the on and off ramps on I-5 and Sperry Avenue are expected to be closed for the remainder of the day. Now, this may not be a heavily trafficked area, but you have to make room for that consideration. Of course, we'll bring you more information on the KCRA 3 app and on the KCRA 3 News at noon. We also have a crew heading there. Our very own Mike Tassell is on his way to that scene.
And Brian Hickey is standing by now. He has details on how this is impacting traffic. And of course, Brian, we're just now hearing that this on and off ramp will be closed throughout the day.
And you can see there from that picture from Live Copter 3 that it's having zero impact on the freeway. Traffic is light through there, and we're not seeing any delays on I-5 coming in through Patterson and then all the way up into Tracy. No issues to report on the freeway. But if you had to access Sperry Avenue, that's where you run into some trouble there with the ramps closed, and you can see that all indicated by purple. So you'll need to exit at one of the, I would say, nearby ramps, but there are no nearby ramps that make it easy to get on over to around this location here if you needed to get on to Sperry Avenue. So just plan accordingly with those ramps expected to be closed throughout the day. But as far as the freeway goes, if you're traveling north or southbound through Patterson, no issues at this time, and don't expect that to, as the scene appears to be stable, I don't expect any changes to the status of the freeway. It's just going to be those ramps that are impacted. Back to you.
All right, Brian. Yeah, thanks so much for that update. And again, Stanislaus County Sheriff's Office released a statement earlier saying it is assisting with an officer-involved shooting that involves U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, of course, otherwise known as ICE. And again, this is a picture here that was sent in from a viewer. You just see some of those law enforcement cruisers there. And as we give you another live look from Live Copter 3 up overhead of that scene, our very own Mike Tassell is just starting to get set up on the ground. So as soon as we get word that he is ready to go, he'll give us a ground level view of the scene as best as he can, because again, Brandy, this area is pretty much shut down, at least to local traffic for the moment.
Yeah, and we started to get details and news into the KCRA 3 newsroom at about 8 a.m. And so it's not yet clear when this started, when this incident unfolded, but we did start to hear from our viewers telling us that they heard a number of what they believed to be gunshots. They were believing it was a police shootout, and so we instantly started to make phone calls and try to get some specific details and some information about what was going on. KCRA3's Mike Tassell headed that way. He just arrived. Mike, what more can you tell us from the ground?
So literally just arrived here at Sperry Avenue, and this is the roadblock that the Stanislaus County Sheriff's Department has set up. This is looking towards I-5, so you can see off in the distance, of course, the freeway speed of the traffic that cannot enter or exit off of Sperry Avenue. If you are familiar with this exit, you know this is an exit that has the Love's Travel Plaza as well as multiple gas stations, Jack in the Box, Starbucks here. So this is right between the freeway and this main intersection. The good news here is that getting down here traffic-wise, not a whole lot of disruption as people are taking the detour, and that's going rather smoothly. But again, you can see at this intersection on the ground where investigators have set up their vehicles as they are working there closer to the freeway. That's a much better vantage point from Live Copter 3 to be able to see exactly where the focus of this is. But as far as the impact to this area around Patterson and specifically on Sperry Avenue, you know, oddly, you would almost not know anything was going on if you were looking the opposite direction, as there's no big backups or anything like that at the moment, but very much so that Sperry Avenue is shut down. Now we're being told that more information going to be released at a different location than where we are from a public information officer from the Sheriff's Department, so we'll ultimately move to that location. But for now, that's your look from the ground here at Sperry Avenue looking towards I-5 where this investigation is unfolding.
All right, Mike Tassell, thank you so much for that update and a look from the ground area. Let's give you another look from Live Copter 3 right now. And again, this is overhead. This is Sperry Avenue and the exits right around in Patterson, right around Diablo Grand Parkway. And again, you see multiple locations set up right now. We don't know exactly where everything unfolded, but you do see investigators at different points. You see some investigators right there at this particular roadblock with the police tape set up as well under this overpass. All we know so far is that the Stanislaus County Sheriff's Office is assisting with what they call an officer-involved shooting that involved U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. They say that there were no Sheriff's Office law enforcement officers involved in this incident. So again, they are just aiding in this investigation. The suspect, they say, was taken to a local hospital to receive some medical attention, but we don't know exactly any details regarding what happened or how this all unfolded. But again, the on and off ramps are on I-5 and Sperry Avenue. They remain closed, and they are going to be closed for the remainder of the day.
All right, let's head back over to Brian Hickey now with more details on the traffic in and around that area.
Yeah, just trying to figure out some of the detours into that area. Again, you can see from Live Copter 3 here, the ramps are closed. The freeway north and southbound not impacted. Mike Tassell also referring to that, as you can see the speed there, cruising along along, but it's that ramp that's closed. So if you need to get into Patterson from I-5, here's how we're going to do it. As you can see on the map here, the ramps are closed. Normally you'd be able to exit off and head over to the east into Patterson. The only closest ways that I can find and most convenient ways would be to take 140 across, make your way through Newman on State Route 33, or as you're coming across 132 over to Vernalis and then heading south on State Route 33, and that'll get you to the east side of Patterson. But for now, those ramps are closed, and according to law enforcement, they're going to be closed for the better part of the day for that ongoing investigation. But the upside of this is I-5 is not impacted for that major thoroughfare through that area. Back to you guys.
All right, Brian, thanks so much. Let's go back up live with this exclusive look from Live Copter 3. Again, we are kind of seeing what appears to be an extension of that scene. We have been showing you kind of the underpass, the unmarked vehicles under the underpass there. But then when we saw Mike DeSalle's live shot, we could also see that there are some businesses that are in that area, maybe a block or so away, and also some residential areas not far from this, where the intersection is here. And as I mentioned, about 2 hours ago is when we started to get some information into the KCRA3 newsroom about the fact that people believed there had been a shooting here, and not long ago, maybe about 9:50 or so, we got some confirmed information from the Stanislaus County Sheriff's Office saying that they were assisting with this shooting involving ICE, the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. They were saying no local law enforcement is involved. The suspect, the person involved with this, was taken to a hospital for medical attention, but they're also saying I-5 at Sperry Avenue will be closed for the remainder of the day.
And again, multi-agency investigation going on right now. We'll have the very latest coming up on KCRA3 News at noon, as well as online. Thank you so much for joining us for this live break-in.